In this video, we'll talk about solving equations with multiple variable terms. And for example, we'll be solving equations where we have, like say 9x plus 7 is equal to, let's say, 8x minus 9. And the idea of what do I do when I have x's on both sides of the equation? So let's go ahead, jump right in with an example. So in the past, we've talked about undoing things, doing reverse order of operations to our x term. Now, the idea that serves pretty well here is to try and get all your variables on one side of the equation and your numbers or your constants on the other. So, if we look at 2x, this represents a number. At its core, it's 2 times x. It just means it's 2 times something. So in essence, I can still subtract that 2x off. Whatever it is, I'm going to subtract it off. Now, I can combine that with a like term, like this 3x, and that would mean 3x minus 2x is 1x. And that means x plus 7 has to equal negative 9. At this point, it's a one-step equation. All I have to do is subtract 7 from both sides, so x would equal negative 16. And that would be our solution. So the idea is if we can move the variables to one side of the equation and our numbers to the other, then we have something we can work with. Maybe we'll have to divide ultimately, or maybe we'll have to do some subtraction, but that's the core idea. Is just treat it like you would a number. Either add or subtract the x's or whatever variable you have to both sides of the equation. So let's go ahead, look at another example. It's a little more complicated. In this case, we have to probably distribute first. So let's distribute the 4 in. So we get 4x plus 4 is equal to 3x minus 8. Now at this point, we can move the x's around. So let's go ahead, subtract 3x from both sides. So we get x plus 4 is equal to negative 8. Then minus 4 from both sides. X has to equal negative 12. And again, that same kind of process worked for us. We try and do what we have to do in order to get our x's on one side of the equation, then get the numbers on the other. However, we can pull that off. It's just balancing equations.